southern night. Stars in the southern night. Stars in the southern night. Stars in the southern night, 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 night. Stars in the southern night. Stars in the southern night. Stars in the southern night.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Hello and welcome back to TownTV and our Matchday preview live show. Streaming on X, YouTube and TownTV. Proudly brought to you by the club's headline digital partner, Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. 2 games in, 2 draws on the board, a steady start as Town's new-look squad begins to gel. There have already been flashes of real quality and plenty of reasons to be excited about what lies ahead. So could it be third time lucky today at Deepdale as Ipswich go in search of that first win of the season? As always, we'll be with you every step of the way, bringing you all the build-up, including team news, tactics and talk from our guests in the studio to you at home. The countdown to kick-off starts here. And I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by 2 former Blues. We're going to get their predictions and thoughts on today's game. Luke Hyam, James Scowcroft. Thanks for joining us, guys. 2 games in the league. What's your assessment been so far, Scoey?
think it's very early. Obviously, it's a new squad that's forming. I think the manager and the club have got to build a new team following relegation and the priorities. There's always this time of year. There's players coming in and out. So I think at the moment it's really, really early, but it's been steady. But 2 games now, Preston and Derby. I think be looking to get maybe 4, maybe 6 points even.
Yeah, Luke, they were 2 tough games to start the championship season, this campaign. But what have you made of the 2 games?
Yeah, you hit it nail on the head. It's been 2 very tough games. You'd like to think that Birmingham and Southampton are going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. But I think at the same time, you've got to look at the bigger picture. And do you think we're 2 games in, we've got a lot of games to play, new players to bed into, Kieran McKenna and how Ipswich want to play in the system. But it's really important that we do get, I think, 3 points, especially going into, say we've got 2 more games to get 3 points to then go into the international break. You say you don't want to be chasing.
Scully, we were looking at the TownTV lineup for today and the squad that we've got now. The expectation from the players and everyone associated the club will be super high because it's a great squad.
It's a very good squad. There's a lot of competitions for places. I think the manager's got a tough job to pick a team every week because you look at the starting 11 is strong, but you look at the lads on the bench as well. They're all very, very capable, experienced, good players. So it's a very good problem to have. I think the squad, especially in this league where there's so many games, is key.
Before we dig a little bit deeper into today's game, let's take a look back at Town's opening home game of the season, an entertaining draw against Southampton.
Ipswich Town are home again as Portman Road plays host to what is a tantalising early season championship bout between 2 of the division's heavyweights. Here is Bazunu. Kouachi charged down by Schmodix. And now Kouachi has to be alert. Hurst is in front of him. Is Hurst into the penalty area? Can he find the cutback for Clark? Yes! It's in the back of the net. It's a lightning start from Ipswich Town. It's an own goal, I think, but George Hurst was too alert for Kouachi. He got into the penalty area, cut it back. I think it's off a Southampton body, but Ipswich Town won't care. It's in the back of the net. The Blues lead 1-0. So that attack is halted somewhat. Fernandes, though, just outside the Ipswich penalty area. Held up by Greaves. Fraser delivering in first time. It's towards Robinson, and Robinson has scored the equaliser. Back to Alex Palmer. Jaden Philogene into Hurst. Hurst has rolled it beyond Stevens, and Schmodix might be in. Schmodix the wrong side of Kouachi. Into the box now. Sam Schmodix left foot off the post and into the arms of Bazunu. Play goes on. Humphreys into Chaplin. Chaplin first time has spotted Ogbene. Ogbene trying to race onto this. He's Bennett. Corner of the Southampton penalty area. He's got Kayusta up with him. Kayusta with the shot, low shot, blocked by Stevens. Young battling for it. Connor Chaplin 25 yards out. Sends it wide. Oh, what a ball from Chappers. And the game comes to an end.
A very entertaining game at Portman Road as always. Luke, it was a fast start from Town, but I think Southampton grew into that first half. What make of the performance overall in the first home game of the season?
First 5-10 minutes, we came out of the traps. I thought we started off really well. We've done like a really good high press, hence where the goal came from. Got that little bit of luck with the own goal. But then Southampton kind of got into the game as soon as basically they conceded. They obviously want to try and play out from the back, and we kind of stopped that press. But on reflection, I thought it was maybe an even game, and I think a draw was a fair result in the end.
Yeah, let's take a quick look back at those goals from the game. Scoey, you're the striker among the panel here. I don't think Jack Clark will be able to claim this one, but most strikers do like to. But what is it you liked about the press early on in this game? Well,
it's a team press, isn't it? There's not just George Hurst, there's 3 or 4 of them. They set a trap, they invite Southampton to play out, and then at that pass they rob, and then they attack very well. And I think everybody's alert. I think everybody's switched on here. Just transitions are so important in football. Fair play to Jack Clark and Jaden Philogene as well, both getting in there. Just put teams under pressure, and I think in the Championship, if you do that, you will get success.
And at the other end, the goal came in the first half as well. Has it been a little bit disappointing to concede like this?
Yeah, I think you see it quite often though. Say when you take the lead, you kind of naturally just sit off a little bit, and then the opposition, when they go a goal down, they kind of then thinking, well, we need to get back into the game, and then they go a bit more on the front foot, and that's what kind of happened. like I say, it wasn't really much in it. wasn't the best of games. But I think you've got to take the positives from it. I think Southampton are going to be there or thereabouts. I think they've had a couple of good results. I think they came from behind against Wrexham early on to win the game. So, take the positives, move on. You've got 2 points from 2 tough games. A game against Preston today, where I think we're definitely looking to get 3 points.
Well, it almost was 3 points for Town. Yeah. Sammy Smodic's hitting the post. Has he done everything right in that position, Sky, apart from put the ball in the back of the net?
I think he's done really, really well. It's great play by George Hurst, and it's a great spot. What Sammy does, he runs off. I think he does really well because he's on a slightly weaker foot and he's going wide, but he still manages to go across the keeper there. And like I say, it's one of those that actually doesn't hit the puck, it comes back towards the keeper, doesn't it? So fortune just sort of eludes him a little bit there. But no, it's a brilliant strike, great technique. And I think we'll see this more often this season, sort of late runs from midfield, and he'll get goals.
On any other day, Luke, that ball might bounce off that post and fall to a Town player for an easy tap-in. Yeah,
obviously luck plays a massive part of it. Also, always go on about it is confidence, and I feel like we haven't got that confidence, especially going into from last season, where you're going into games where we lost more than we won, whereas we had 2 seasons where we were going into games thinking we're going to win. So it's obviously going to be tough. Obviously, we've got 2 points on the board. We've got to take the positives from that. But like Scully said, I think Sammy Smodix is a goal scorer, and goals will come for him.
Well, one player that had plenty of confidence when he came on was Connor Chaplin, and he produced arguably the pass of the day. Let's take another look at this. As someone who's never played the professional game, that felt like instinct. It was beautiful, and Chio on the end of it, Scully.
It's great vision, isn't it? And then he's got the technique and the execution there. Really, I think Connor's key. He's on the bench today, but he can come on. He can change the game. He's got this ability here, and he can also score a goal as well. But such a shame that it doesn't end up in the back of the net. It's a great block actually by the Southampton lad that comes across. But
Luke, I remember in that Championship campaign, we used to see that cut back to Connor Chaplin. We scored so many goals. Is that sort of the creativity we're sort of going to need again in the Championship? Yeah,
I actually thought he might have made a couple of changes today. I thought against Birmingham and Southampton, obviously I think that was the I can't remember what team we played in the Carabao Cup now, but I think we've been a little bit rigid. I think we're missing Morsey a little bit. I think at the start of the season we've got Jack Taylor and Matsuatsu. I can't pronounce it. But I feel like he's more of an enforcer. Jack Taylor's one who wants to get in the box. So we haven't got that one who wants to dictate, wants to get on the ball. In terms of Morsey, we used to always demand the ball off the fullback, the centre half, and then say it's those 5-10 yard passes where he'd just say he'll get it on the half turn and then give it to the likes of Chaplin or Smodix. But yeah, I feel like we're missing maybe a little bit of creativity in that midfield.
It's only 2 games in, Scully, but where can Town improve moving forward as we look into today's game against Preston?
Well, I think if we look at it, we've scored 1 goal in each of the games. So, going back to 18 months ago, 2 years when we're in this league here, we were free scoring. There was a lot of goals in the team. So that's something, it's football's all about what you do in both boxes, isn't it? And I think maybe just slight improvements. If you look at the Southampton goal, it's a free header. If we can just sharpen up there and then just get a little bit more creativity, like Luke says, and be a little bit more ruthless in the final third. It's very fine margins, but I think we'll get there. I don't think there's a problem. And if after 60 minutes we can make 2 or 3 changes and completely change the game with the strength off the bench.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Town will get there. We've got Kieran McKenna at the helm, and we can now hear from the Ipswich Town gaffer. He's been speaking to TownTV a little bit earlier on.
No, I think. Look, I don't think they're gonna, go out with any intent. I'm pretty sure on Saturday they'll let us just have the ball and let us have a comfortable game. They're going to try and make it difficult for sure. Southampton were pretty direct on Sunday with 2 strikers and a back 5 and wing backs and looking across the ball. So there'll be some similar things in there anyway. They've got a lot of size in the team, so they're the biggest team that we'll have faced, no doubt about that. So of course that means we're going to have to be at our very best in both boxes and on set plays especially. But I think last game we faced a pretty direct opponent. The Birmingham game, the ball spent plenty of time in the air as well. So I think the season and the games are still sort of finding a rhythm. We know the rhythm that Preston want to play at and what they're very good at, and it's up to us to try and impose ourselves on the game away from home and try and make it the type of game that we want. Yeah, look, could be better, but we knew it was going to be a difficult start. We knew it was going to be a challenging summer. It's been even more challenging than probably could have predicted. The Friday night away game to St Andrews was always going to be a really, really tough game, whoever got that one, and it transpired to be, and not at our best, but found a way to get a result from the game. And then Sunday, a good step forward in the performance. Again, still lots of improvement to do, but against a strong Southampton side, I think we deserved to win the game on the balance of play. So yeah, nice to be undefeated. Would have been much nicer to have won one of the two games alongside a draw, but of course it's important to get points early in the season, and we'd love to be off and running really, really well in that department.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a tough test against Preston North End, who have started the Championship campaign in good form with that draw and win, notably over Leicester City. For a team coming down like Leicester, for Preston to go and beat them, that's a really good sign. So it's going to be a really tough game today. It
is, yeah, and I think they thoroughly deserve to beat Leicester as well. So, I've played at Preston a few times. It's not an easy place to go. They've had a good start. They've picked up a point away at QPR and then a great home win. So confidence will be flying there. It literally will be. So, and I think what's changed this year is that probably Ipswich are the team to beat now, where 2 years ago now, coming up from League One, that probably wasn't the case. So it's going to be different, and today will be a test.
Does that kind of pressure play on a player's shoulder? We're the team to beat now?
Absolutely. It's on our head now. So most teams, when they come up against Ipswich or come to Portman Road, they're going to be wanting to beat us. So it's always difficult, and like I say, it's all about your mentality, and it completely shifts. Like I said, like from last season, we're going from losing games to then coming into a new season where you've got to switch that mentality to think we've got to be on the front foot and we've got to win games.
Preston North End have been synonymous with the Championship for so long. They're an experienced side. They've got an experienced manager in Paul Heckingbottom. How much does that matter in a game like this?
Well, it's huge. Like you said, they've got experience. They know what it's like. They've been there, done it at the Championship. They do enough every year to stay in the league. It is a very, very competitive league as well, so it's unforgiving. And they'll be ready for Ipswich. They'll be ready for us today. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a test for us here, and I expect a close game, but I think we've got enough to get 3 points.
They finished the season in 20th last season. Can we take anything from last season, or is Kieran looking at what they've done this season? Where did they get the information from? How much can we take from it?
Little bits and pieces. Like I said, we're early into the season. We're 2 games in. But like Scully said, that they've had a good start to the season, especially coming on from back off the season where they finished 20th. They'll be more than delighted with the start they've made. I think they're just a classic Championship team for me, Preston, in terms of how they play. I think they play 3 at the back, wing backs, and they'll have 2 big centre forwards who they'll want to play direct and get it into them. I think not many teams like to play that way now. So more teams do want to try and play out from the back. So I think it's nice that you've got that classic, old school way of trying to get 2 centre forwards and then get it into them. So it will be a tough test for us.
And Preston will take plenty of confidence from that time we did playing in the Championship. They were one of only 6 teams that beat us, so they can take a little bit from that, although the squads will be slightly different.
No, a lot's changed since then. I just think they're set up, they probably played to their maximum. Although they finished 20th last year, there's not a lot between 20th and 10th in the league. If you look at it, it is fine margins. So they're strong, they're physical. It will be a test here, but hopefully our little bit of quality should come through.
Yeah, well, we had the pleasure of hosting Preston North End in the Championship back in October 2023. And like most games that season at Portman Road, it didn't disappoint.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ipswich on what is a glorious day to play and watch football. In comes the corner from Davis, and it's towards Connor Chaplin! Magnificent! What a finish from Connor Chaplin. Now it's Krokjar Jensen, drops for Osmajic. Krokjar Jensen. Preston equalise. Kladky really has too many options there back to that Paddy. But Brandon Williams has stolen the ball off Robbie Brady, and now he can drive away down the right-hand side. Williams driving on, he's got her supporting. There's Williams into the penalty area! That is magnificent from Brandon Williams! Play it out to Leith Davis on the right-hand side. Davis delivering the ball in towards Burgess, and then Hurst is able to run in the cross goal. The flag has stayed down, and Nathan Broadhead makes it 3. He will delivering now towards the penalty spot. Bowers coming in at the back post. Ipswich have dealt with it for now. Hooked back in by Ledson, and it drops to Whiteman, and then it's in off the post. Brom and Leicester. The campaign started so well, won 6 of their opening 7 league games. Both teams flying high in the Sky Bet Championship. Here's Jack Taylor, he's got Hutchinson supporting. Hutchinson, Jackson free in space. Here's Caden Jackson! 4-2 Ipswich Town.
Never a dull moment at Portman Road in the Championship. A great afternoon of football there. Let's hope for more of the same this afternoon. One thing on that day that was great to see, that Brandon Williams run, which could have won goal of the season for Town, but great to see him back enjoying his football again with a second chance at Hull City.
Yeah, definitely. He's had a tough time. He's been out for a while, hasn't he? And I think he had a good spell here. His goal there was fantastic. So, no, he's a good player, and it's good to see him back playing.
Yeah, certainly great as a player to come back into the game, because he was a fan favourite here at times. He knew how to get people up. He got the crowd going.
He had a personality, which is nice to see, because nowadays it's hard. You don't want any controversial things. But like I say, he had a character, and it's always nice for fans to see that from players. So it's good that he's got back into the game. Like I say, it's a long time retired, so and having 12, 18 months out of the game, and then to get back in at a good level, like I say, I'm really pleased for him.
Nathan Broadhead, Caden Jackson on the goals that day as well. How different is that Ipswich team now than it was 18 months ago?
Well, those players aren't here anymore, so it is different. Nathan Broadhead, it seems strange that he's not an Ipswich player anymore, but like Luke will tell you, players move on. They come, they don't hang around for long, and there's always involvement. There's always players that come and go. That's football, really. So this is a different side, different squad, and it will take the manager. I think it will take the manager a while to sort of get to know his strongest 11, and maybe away from home and at home it will change a little bit. But he has got options. Players leave, players come in. Casey McAteer joined the club this week, a very exciting young player signing from Leicester City. One, how good is it to take a player off a rival, and what are you expecting him to bring to Town this season?
It raised a few eyebrows, that's for sure, in terms of the price tag. But yeah, it's great. Like I say, taking a player off your rival is always a positive. Young player. It'll be really interesting to see how he beds in, where he plays. But we alluded to it in terms of the squad depth we have. Like you say, you look at that bench today, I think pretty much all of them can go into that starting 11. So I think it bodes well to going into the future and then going into the season. It kind of it's just getting your confidence back up. Say if you get a win today, then it gives you a springboard.
Scower, you're at plenty of football matches. I'm sure you've got some information on Casey that you'd be able to share with us.
Well, he's a lad that come through the ranks at Leicester, really. They have produced some good players, Leicester, in a few. So for us to buy one of their players that's come through their academy is a bit of a coup for us. He's an exciting 23 years old, quite versatile, and I think he'll only get better. I think he's come to a good club under a good manager, so that'd be very interesting to see how he does.
Talking of young prospects coming through, Elkan Baggott has signed a new deal at the club till 2028, so many congratulations to Elkan. How good is that for a player at his age now, that knowing where his future's going to be? He might get a loan move somewhere, but committed to the club and a great personality and character in football.
It's a massive confidence for himself that, one, Kieran and the club rate him so highly, especially when, say, he's not in the Matchday squad today. So it shows you what the club think about him, giving him till 2028, I believe. I haven't seen much of him, but just seeing him in the flesh, a big old boy, especially for his age. You say he's filled out in the last 12, 18 months, and I feel like more and more young players need to go out on loan, even if it is non-league sometimes. Say the younger you go out and play men's football, the better. And I feel like he's been out on loan for a couple of clubs now, and I feel like you never know in terms of football. Football changes so quickly. He might have a couple of injuries in the next week or so, and he might kind of get a chance. But at the same time, if he's not playing regular football here, then he needs to go elsewhere. But it shows what the club and Kieran think of him by giving him that contract.
Yeah, it's important to go, isn't it, to tie down these young prospects as well. We've got Finn Barbrook, who went out and had that successful loan spell at Sutton United, but to tie them down to contracts, to give them that confidence, will only help their development.
100%, and it's probably one thing that we need more of the club. You know, young players coming through the academy and coming into the team, because it's always been the sort of the lifeline of the squad, really. You know, football's changed, and when you go into the Premier League, obviously squads get bigger and bigger, but it's definitely something that this football club needs more of. So it's good to see.
Yeah. Right, we want you, the fans, to get involved on social media using the hashtag TownTV. We're asking you the question, what do you make of Town's squad this season? We've spoken plenty about it, but we want to hear from you, the fans. And what are your match predictions for today's game against Preston? Use the hashtag TownTV. Right, Kieran McKenna's men have been working extremely hard on the training pitch this week, and the TownTV cameras went behind the scenes to take a closer look at the action.
Morning.
Right, Chinners. Mate.
Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, dude.
Good.
Hello, Chinners.
Harry.
Morning. You alright?
Mate.
You good? Morning. Morning.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't really look at that thing, like, to be honest. I don't know. To be honest, I can find out and let you know.
Authority about you.
Speak like this. You never ever speak like this.
Yeah. Sure. What?
Dave, when you're working on Ali Shuffle,
Come through the middle. Other side.
yeah, loads of small steps, get nice and low. Something to do with the pitch anyway. Sunday, take your time.
That was a joke. What are you talking about?
Opposite knee, opposite side. 75, start, still at 50. Good, boys, through the yellow. Jonas. Oh, that's a Jonas. I'm in the What is Jay? Jay! Come on! Yes, Jay. Oh, no. 6. It's good. 11. Oh, yeah. Oh! 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All good down. Good stuff.
Priority is, can you, like, for you, especially Joe, go on, play me. Can I just break the line straight away?
Yes, Finn. Yeah.
Good. What we got? Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm knackered watching those boys run around, showing my age and fitness there. Lads, you've been in that position many, many a times. How important is it to have a good week's training in a build-up to a Saturday game?
Yeah, massively important. Like you say, everything which Kieran and all the staff do from Monday till Friday leading up to a Saturday's game is so vital and so key. So there'll be different elements which you'll be doing. They'll be doing shapes, set pieces, patterns of play. Obviously, you've got your S&C bits and pieces which John Ashton will be doing. So it is vital in terms of your lead up, even like your rest and recovery is so key. It's more and more important as you go now, especially with all the sports science-based bits and pieces. So yeah, it's massive.
Scully, how much of an impact does that have on the match day performance?
We'll have a lot, and although it's a disappointing result in the cup, it actually does give them a free week this week to sort of, like Luke will say, you can recover, then you can train hard, have a little bit of rest, and then you can prepare for the game. So you almost, if you can get a week between games, it almost gives you the perfect week to do that, and it also gives people time to, if they've got a niggle or small injury, to recover as well. So I think recovery is really, really important in today's game, and the more sort of space and days you can have is really important.
And what about the mentality side of it? They're all human. They can't all be brilliant every day. If you've had a bit of an off week, how much can that affect your performance on a Saturday? In the same time, if you had a great week, can you be complacent going into the game?
For me, mentality is everything. Mentality over talent all day. Like I say, if you haven't got that mental strength, like I say, you can come off a bad weekend or a bad performance. If you haven't got that mental capacity to think, switch off and go, all right, I need to pick it up here. Otherwise, especially with the squad we've got, the squad depth, you're thinking someone's going to take my place. But like I say, it's just figuring in terms of what you need to do for that week. And like I say, we're doing the right things, recovering right, you're training right, you're eating everything you need to eat. So, yeah, I think for me, it's so key.
And it plays a huge part in team bonding as well, Scully. Yeah. I'm sure when you were training, you had some great characters in there. Building that team morale to help with that mentality aspect, if a player is struggling, it's massive.
Well, confidence is big, and that's why I think it's important that we get a result today, so you can start to, confidence and momentum brings that mentality. And I think the mentality at this football club has been really, really good in the last couple of years as well. So that's something that needs to build and will get us through, because there's a lot of close games in this league. So mentality and the extra edge will get us over the line.
We spoke to Wes Burns, who joined us pitch side against Southampton. His rehab is going well. The injury, is healing. He's doing all the right things. But he did say, which we picked up on, that he's well away from the squad because he's in at different times. How can he stay connected to the club? How do they do that when you're an injured player?
It's tough. I've been there, and you feel like you're just not part of the team, especially when you've had especially when you've got a long injury. A long-term injury like he's had. Like I say, you're in the treatment room, you're spending a lot of time with the physio and then other injured players, and you feel like you're letting your teammates down a little bit. But it's where your teammates kind of try and get you involved as much as possible. And like I say, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Like, especially when I always found it when you're in that treatment room and then you see all the lads walking past, putting all their boots on, having a laugh and a joke. So I think people underestimate, when you're long-term injured, it's tough mentally to think, all right, look, I need to focus on this, especially when you've got other players. But at the same time, that kind of gives you that drive and that determination to think, that's where I want to be.
Well, we wish Wes and all the injured players a speedy recovery. We can now check in with Town TV's Andy Warren for all the team news at Deepdale as we take on Preston North End.
Thank you, Curly. Yeah, here at Deepdale for this afternoon's game with Preston North End, where Town are unchanged for this championship fixture. In goal is Alex Palmer, right back Ben Johnson with Darragh O'Shea and Jacob Greaves in the middle, Leif Davis on the left, Azor Matasiwa and Jack Taylor in midfield, with Jaden Philogene, Sam Schmodix and Jack Clark supporting George Hurst. On the bench, two new signings hoping to make their debuts. Casey McAteer signed on Friday from Leicester City, and Chuba Akpom as well on loan from Ajax, who will both be hoping to influence this game.
Brilliant work there from Andy Warren. Unchanged from the team against Southampton. Scully, does that surprise you?
Not really, because I think trying to get some continuity is important. But that's just a starting 11. I don't think that'll be the same team that is sort of in the latter stages of today's game. I do believe that the bench, there's attacking options, especially, and if we're winning, there's defensive players as well that can come in. So it is a squad game in this league. So let's see, but I think it's a big game, something we really need to get something out of.
Yeah, it's definitely a big game. So let's take a closer look at Town's starting lineup. As Andy and Scully said, it's unchanged from the team against Southampton. It's a big afternoon for the forward players as well, because, we want Jack Clark, obviously, he was involved in the goal. Jaden Philogene, who's come in, who may have been a bit of a surprise starter against Southampton, had not featured in the previous games. But it's so strong, that lineup, and once it starts clicking, you feel like the goals are going to come from all over the pitch.
Yeah, I'll say we've alluded to it. I think it's the best squad in the Championship. Last summer, I think we basically brought the best players from the Championship in case of this scenario. I think, plus they had good ages, they had good sell-on values as well. Obviously, Hutchinson's left already. But obviously, we signed Jack Clark, Jacob Greaves. But I think it's a massive show of confidence of Kieran McKenna to keep playing these players. I think Jack Clark's been poor personally for the start of the season. I think even back in the last season, you can just tell confidence. Like I say, we allude to it every time. Confidence is massive. I think Jack Clark is just playing with no confidence at the moment, but at the same time, Kieran McKenna's given him that confidence. Say, you're my man. I want you to play. I want you to get your confidence up, because he knows what he can do at this level, and I think he is one of the best. He's a top player in the Championship level.
And George Hurst and Jack Taylor, who probably didn't play as much Premier League football as they would have liked last season. Again, it goes to what you were saying, Luke. The confidence is key, and George getting that first goal. Yes, he missed the penalty in the cup, but again, another confidence boost for them to be picked again, and George knows he's the main man.
Yeah, he is, and I think what will happen with the squad is everyone will drive each other. You can't rest here. You know, I think if you have 2 or 3 games where you're not quite on it, you'll be out, and somebody else will come in. That's football, but that's a very strong lineup. You know, there's some players here that signed for good money. So
the bench is going to be key. So let's take a quick look at that. As Andy said in the previous VT, that we're excited to see Chuba Akpom and Casey McAteer make their debuts. Just Luke, how big is that bench going to be today and throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, massive. I was quite surprised. I thought he might have made a couple of changes. I thought maybe Chaplin might have come in, just because I thought we need that little bit of an X factor, a little bit of spark in the final third. Like I said, I think we've just been a little bit rigid in our first 3 games, and I think Chaplin gives you that little bit of nous in that final third, and I think every time Ashley Young's played, I say we've only played 3 games, but I think he's looked Premier League quality. So I think at the moment it looks like an absolute coup for Ipswich to get hold of him.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the visitors and see how they line up against Ipswich Town. Scully, what are you expecting to see from this Preston North End side?
Strong, physical, organised. I think they probably would have done a lot of work on Ipswich. Like I say, I think it will be everybody's sort of team to sort of watch, and they'll know that one of the best teams in the Championship are coming, so that they'll have to be at their very, very best. I just think the Leicester result gives them a lot of confidence, gives the crowd a lot of confidence, and Luke will back this up as well. If you get that momentum in the Championship and you get the crowd behind you as well, it helps massively. So that's exactly what they'll go. So it's really important, I think, we start well. If we let them sort of dictate and come out and maybe get an early goal, then we're on the back foot.
Okay, look, let's have a look at the bench for Preston North End as well. And while we see the names come up here, Luke, who do you think could be the one to watch for Preston North End?
I think you've got Daniel Jebison there, who's still quite a young lad, but he feels like he's been about for ages. Obviously, we alluded to it in terms of he had that infamous injury from his off the field.
Private PT sessions,
private
wasn't
PT,
it?
should we say?
Too much S&C, as you guys call it.
But like I say, he's got a bit of pedigree, played at Premier League level. He's had a couple of good clubs. So he'd be looking to get off the mark for Preston. I think they've signed that Lewis Dobbin from Aston Villa as well, as a young lad who will be a threat. But like Scully said, I think there'll be like an old school Championship team who want to get into their 2 centre forwards, and they'll just be hard to play against, and it's tough, especially when they've come off a good victory against Leicester at home as well. So they'll be bouncing.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough afternoon, that's for sure. Kickoff is fast approaching, so let's go back to Andy Warren. He's been speaking to Ben Johnson.
It's on TownTV here at Deepdale. How are you feeling ahead of the game?
Yeah, excited. We want the games to come thick and fast. We want to get momentum in the Championship, and we want to play as many games as we can. And when they come, we want to play well and improve our performances each week and get our first win today.
How's the week been?
Yeah, it's been really good. Worked well on the training pitch, recovered, done a lot of work, just trying to improve every day, and prepared for Preston, which is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, first trip here to Deepdale for you. What are you expecting from that, and what are you expecting from Preston?
Yeah, first trip here. It's going to be a tough game. They're going to be direct. We can't take anything for granted. They've got good players. They've got quality to score, and playing against direct teams is difficult. But we're going to go one step beyond today and play our football and impose ourselves on the game.
A couple of new faces for the fans on the bench today, Tuba Akpom, Casey McAteer. What can the supporters expect from them?
Yeah, great additions. You can see the quality of Tuba and Casey already in training. They're going to be great for us this season and looking forward to playing with them.
Thank you, Johnny. Good luck.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting game at Deepdale. Right, we've been asking you, the fans, to send us your predictions on social media, #TownTV. So it's only right that we wrap up today's show by putting you guys on the spot. Scully, I'll come to you first. What's your match prediction?
I'll go 2-0 Ipswich.
2-0 Ipswich.
He took it off me. Do you know, I'll go for 3-0, but I do fancy us very strongly today.
As long as it's a Town win, we're happy with that. Right, a reminder, there are no restrictions for overseas supporters, which means if you are outside the UK, you can watch today's game. Match passes and Town TV Plus subscriptions are still available. For the rest of us, you'll get the full commentary from Glenn Wheeler and the brilliant Luke Hyam. That's it from us here in the studio. Big thanks to Scully, to Luke, for you watching at home, and to our sponsors, Fleximize. We'll see you next week. Come on, you Blues.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
It's a new season, a new challenge, a new home, some new faces, the same support.
But Preston is there on the follow-up to make it 3.
We need you again. Let's do this together.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just blending passion and enthusiasm.